Okay, so hopefully the feedback from the mic sounds really good, because I know that in the background you can hear the chickens and the roosters and honestly the wind that's blowing by. And I also know that you can probably hear there's like dogs barking. There's a little bit of everything, but I hope that the audio sounds far better than the extra noises that are going on around here. Okay, so anyway, I really wanted to take time to record a bit of like a recap of what the year has been like for me, because I guess that's like one of the natural things that happens as the year ends is like we get into a mode where we're reflecting, we're thinking about things that happened, how we felt, what we were able to accomplish, and what we weren't. And if I'm being honest, for me, as I reflect on 2024, I know that it has been one of the toughest years for me. So, at the end of 2023, in December, I lost my grandmother, and it's taken me honestly a really long time to be able to even talk about it, because for me, my grandmother was and is the most important person in my life. I didn't grow up in my life with my mother or my father, and so my grandmother truly was everything to me. And it was an unexpected loss, and so it's just taken me a really long time to wrap my head around what life looks like without being able to pick up the phone and call her, pick up the phone and call her, or hop on a flight and go see her, or fly her down to where I live and see her. And so I feel like I've been just adjusting and adjusting and adjusting to the change for the entire year, ever since it's happened. And I don't know, it really, really has just been tough, like there's no better way to kind of say it. Like, it's just been a tough thing for me to experience. And I know that so many of you can also relate to losing someone who means so much to you, whether it be a similar situation like me. Maybe you only ever had your father in your life, or only ever had your mother or your grandmother or your grandfather. Maybe it was your auntie or your uncle or your cousin, right? Or a sibling. But just the person who you could always call on, the person that you could trust and look to, somebody that you can lean on, and for some of us it's also a friend, whoever it is that has just been like that solid rock for you. When you lose them, it's such a difficult thing to deal with. And I think now that it's been a year since she's passed, I really want to reflect on all of the positive sides. I think that that's honestly the only thing that's gotten me through the year, is constantly reflecting on who she was as a person and what she meant to me. All of the many happy, beautiful memories that we have together. And just trying to keep her spirit alive. She was such an awesome person. Like, she had a very big personality. She was very funny, and she just was very much herself. And I think that one thing that I inherited, or that I learned from her, is the importance of being yourself. She truly always was exactly who she was. She did not care who was watching, who was listening, who was judging. She didn't care. She was always just herself. And I didn't really realize that until I've taken more time to kind of reflect that, like, I definitely got that from her. Even if it makes me uncomfortable or other people uncomfortable, I'm always just me. I really don't want to be anybody else. I really don't want to I don't know. It's like a hard thing to explain. But like in every room, everywhere that I show up, everything that I do, the only person that I ever want to be is me. And I'm so grateful that I got to watch her for my entire life show up as that person, because I didn't even realize that that was something that I picked up from her. And she was a God-fearing woman, okay? Everything she did, she was praying about it and asking the Lord to help her through everything. And I'm grateful that I had that experience as well, because it really helped to shape me, you know, and helped me to understand that no matter how strong you think you are and how much you think you know, you really are nothing without God by your side, you know? So I'm grateful that I had, you know, that experience with her and that I was able to pick up those things from her amongst so many others. But honestly, as I continued to reflect as the year was passing, I realized that losing my grandmother really forced me to look at other things in my life that I felt like I lost. And it's so interesting how that works, because it's like when you lose the most important person to you in your life, or when you lose someone who loves you and that you love in such a big way, at least for me, it really caused me to reflect on every other thing that I felt like I lost in my life, because my grandmother was the only person who was there from the time that I was born, you know, and on, like the only person that was there always, you know. And so losing someone like that, it made me really, really think about everybody else who I felt like I lost, and all of the other relationships and friendships and things like that that I lost. And so I feel like, honestly, I've been mourning the entire year. And I'm really the type of person that when I have things going on, I keep myself busy. I don't know if you're also guilty of that. Literally, drop down in the comments and let me know if you are. But I am the type of person that I keep myself, I mean, even if things are good, like no matter what's going on, I keep myself busy. I'm just that girl. But even more so when there's a lot on my mind, or if I'm going through something tough, like I keep myself busy. And so this year, I worked more than I've ever worked. And it's so insane to imagine that, because every year I feel like I'm working more and more and more. And I love what I do. So I'm grateful that I even have the ability to do that. But this year, I literally only took one day off of work. One day. And that day was the anniversary of my grandmother's death, because I really wanted to take time to feel my emotions, take time to get out in nature. I was kind of like debating about what it was that I wanted to do to commemorate, you know, her. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. Originally, I was thinking that I wanted to like drive up to one of the waterfalls and just sit and think, or write a letter and burn it. And I don't know. I just had so many things on my mind, but I was trying to just go with the flow. Not try to plan things down to the T too much, but really just allow myself to go in whichever direction felt most natural. And I'm really, really, really grateful that I decided to take that day off, because I needed that. So my grandmother passed away on December 16th, 2023, and every month, without fail, as the 16th was approaching, each month, I would start feeling like sick and just not so good, or very emotional, couldn't figure out why, you know, or not, I mean, obviously I was able to figure out why as time passed, but like, you know, in the moment, like without fail, every time I would check the date, and sure enough, it would be the 16th. And this, another thing, that kind of adds to that whole situation is that my grandmother was actually going to be moving in with me and my husband. And it was going to be, we were kind of trying to pick a day, but she really wanted to come in July because her birthday is July 25th. And so, we were planning, okay, in a couple of months, she's going to move down, she's going to move in with us and, kind of start a whole nother chapter. And for me, one of the best feelings is being able to fly her down to spend holidays with us and or being able to go to her, but just being able to do things for her because, in my life, she has done things for me that nobody else ever has. And so for the past actually 2 years in a row, we flew her down and she spent Thanksgiving week with us. And so I think that really added to how shocking and how just heartbreaking everything was that she just spent Thanksgiving down in Georgia with us. And I didn't know, of course, because nobody did, that would be the last time that I saw her alive and in good health. And I think back to that time a lot, that if I knew, and of course, there's no way to know, that's just not how it works. But if I did, I would have extended the time, I would have let her or begged her, to stay a little bit longer, or I don't know, just figured something out. And it's interesting because this year she was supposed to stay a little bit longer than she did, but she had, things going on and she wanted to get back home and, take care of her things. She was always somebody who kept up with their schedule and just, was very planned out and stuff like that. And so, she ended up going back. And I'm just grateful that I had the ability to spend that time with her, that I had the ability to fly her down, that we were able to spend time with family and make happy memories. And my grandmother loves to shop and eat good. And so whenever she came down, we always just wanted to make sure that she was comfortable, that she felt spoiled, that she got to go shop and get whatever she wanted to get. And she was always like, oh no, you don't have to get this for me. And then of course there would be times where she's like, oh no, I need this, and I'm grateful that I got to experience having somebody so special in my life. And I'm just grateful because everybody doesn't have the opportunity to experience what I did. And although I felt abandoned and rejected by other people in my life, I've never felt that way about her. She's always made me feel loved and chosen and just really special. And I'm just really grateful more than anything else that I got to experience that. And again, it's taken me such a long time to be able to talk about this situation, and I really didn't want to cry. I'm honestly surprised that it took me this long in the video to start crying. But I am so blessed and so grateful to have experienced what it's like to be loved by her. I'm so grateful that I had her in my life. And for the rest of my life, I hope and I plan to keep her memory alive, to keep her spirit alive. And I know that she loved me and was proud of me and expressed that. And so yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna break and then I'm coming right back. I'm gonna wipe these tears away and then I'm coming right back, because I'm really not sad. These tears are really like grateful, happy tears. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna come right back to you. Okay, so I'm back. And I just feel like this year really taught me a lot about myself. It's taught me a lot about what it is that I'm capable of. It's taught me a lot about healing and progressing. You hear the chickens? It's literally like the soundtrack of Puerto Rico. Chickens and roosters and dogs barking and stuff. But yeah, like I can say without a doubt that this is exactly what my soul needed. This is what my mind needed. This is what my body needed, was a break from the usual hustle, the usual hustle and bustle of life, of being a provider, of taking care of people, of showing up and being there for everyone. I needed a break, just like any other person does. And I'm so grateful that I was able to have one in a place like this. And so I'm looking forward to whatever the next year brings. Even though this year has been tough, I am sure that 2025 is going to bring some healing for me. I will say I definitely had moments where I crumbled. But I really, every time I would get sad, every time that I would cry, I would remind myself, you are so lucky to have experienced having a grandmother like the one you had. You are so blessed, and nothing and nobody will ever be able to take those memories and those experiences away. And one of the things that I am most grateful for is, or in the age of technology, is the fact that we have voicemails. I have been listening to her voicemails constantly, and when my birthday passed, it was December 5th. She left me a voicemail for my birthday the year before last. And I have actually a few over the years, which is beautiful, but I was able to play it back and listen to it on my birthday as if, she was there and singing me happy birthday and just giving me all of the wishes and telling me how much she loves me. I'm so grateful that I can still hear her voice. And I don't know, if you are somebody who has lost someone who has meant so much to you, I want to encourage you that in the moments where the loss feels extra heavy, where you feel alone and lost and sad and heartbroken, that you reflect on all of the memories that you have, of all of the things that remind you of that person in that moment. If you have to close your eyes, reflect on who they were, of the memories you have, of what they meant to you. It's going to bring you so much peace. Like, even just a while ago, crying and talking about her, like, it brings healing. It really does. You have to allow yourself in the grieving process to feel your feelings. Don't keep pushing them away. Don't keep pretending like you don't feel the way that you do. Call the feeling by its name and release as it comes. Don't hold on to it, because it will eat you up. It will take you into a dark place that you don't have to be. Whoever that person is that you may have lost, they love you, and you know that they do. And so I just want to encourage you to feel your feelings. Don't let them overpower you. Don't let anything that you experience take control of your mind and your body. You are in control, and you are blessed and lucky that although that person is not here, you are. And the memories that you have together will never, ever die unless you allow them to. And so I really hope that you're feeling encouraged. I hope that in my sharing what it's been like for me this past year, that you are able also to do some reflecting. And I hope and I know and I believe that 2025 is going to bring you so much peace and healing. But it will only do that if you believe that it will, and if you allow it to. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you're feeling vulnerable and if you'd like, I would love for you guys to leave down in the comments anything, literally anything. If you've lost somebody, if you need somebody to pray for you, if you need some encouragement yourself, to please leave it down below in the comments. I would love to read your stories and just reply, and also to pray for you guys and leave you some encouragement. I really would. So if you're feeling vulnerable enough to share, please do. And if you really don't want to share exactly what it is, just leave some hearts down below. And I hope that you are enjoying what's left of this year. And I pray that this next year brings you everything that your heart can handle. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.